Hello everybody, in today's video I'll be showing you guys how you can make the Galliraptor and the Tribal. Quick note, you cannot breed them. If you want more, you gotta make more. It's just gonna say this animal cannot breed. For starters, we will need to have Botania unlocked, so be sure you go to your quests, and you will have to complete this abandoned Botania. So you just need 6 of the items over here. You can go ahead and choose which one you think you can do, but when you have that, you'll then be able to buy it from the botanist workbench for 4,096 gold. Again, as long as you have that bundle completed. This video is going to be like a bare bones guide to like showing exactly what you kind of like need to be able to make them over there. So if you want a more in-depth botany guide, I will leave one down in the description box below, but let's get started. So now that you have your pedestal, what you're going to need to have is unlimited water, some seeds, and cauliflowers starting out. You can get it from the market. Cauliflowers right here. If you don't have this option, I think you just have to buy this universal farming method for the 82,000 and it should unlock all of the stuff you see here. But be sure just to see if you have the cauliflowers in general first. But that's just that, 6 coins. You're going to have to grow them, but all you got to do is then just grab your water, place them in the botany thing, then just grab your cauliflower and then just drop it in there. And then as you can see, every time I press Q, another one's added. And now you can see it says grab a seed. And that's that. And so we just grab a wheat seed or any seed for that matter. It just acts as a catalyst. Throw that in there and bam, gives us white flower seeds. For any of the seeds you get, they are like normal crops. All you got to do is like look at them. They're year round. So just, go to your whatever land. You're going to just plant it in there. And after a few days, it will be done. Once it's done, you can't replant it. Like you'll just break it and that's that. But what you can do with it then is just put it in your crafting table and you'll get 2 petals. That's what we'll need. And then if you come back to the quests, you'll get that done and then you'll get yourself another seed. Go ahead and plant that. You also would get a free seed maker, so you can add and make more of them if you want, if you don't have a bunch of cauliflowers. The first thing we're going to be making is going to be the pure daisy. It makes the living wood and the living stone. We're just going to need 4 white petals all in there. And once again, we just throw that seed in there, completes it. You just have to place it down and then in the 3x3, it will transform wood or stone into living wood and living rocks. So again, we just place it down and then you could just place logs and then you can see there is a particle effect and you don't have to be like perfect with what it is. Like it could just be half wood, half stone. And then after about a minute or so, again, it will turn into the wood and the rock. We're also going to need a orange petal, so we're going to need 4 bell peppers, as well as another seed to make the orange seed. And to make the yellow petal, we're going to need 4 corns, and again, a seed in there. And then just plant them all, and then turn them all into petals. With that, then we'll be able to make the cropnolia. What this thing does is it sacrifices plant growth for mana. The longer it grows, the more mana you'll get from it. And you're not going to get any harvest, because it's just going to be the mana, right? So we'll need 1 orange petal, 1 yellow petal, and 2 white petals, as well as a seed catalyst, and then we'll get ourselves the cropnolia. So before we keep going, just place down your cropnolia, and then in a 7x7, so it in the middle, go out 3 in every direction, it will sacrifice those crops in it. So, you can place down your sprinklers on the outside and the inside, whatnot. Remember, this is going to be the sacrifice. After that, with our living rock, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a mana pool. We just need 5 of them. And we're going to make ourselves a mana spreader. We're going to need 6 living wood logs. We're going to need 1 copper ingot and any petal. Once you have those things completed, then you're going to get yourself a wand of the forest. This thing's going to help us see and understand what the mana is doing. So you'll just get yourself your mana spreader, hold crouch, and then just place it on top, as well as the binding forest. So you're going to see nothing's happening right now. So we'll have to crouch, right click this, right click that, and now you can see it kind of shot a beam over there. So if I hover over here now, you can see it says mana pool because it's going there. As well as if we kind of like hover over here, you can now see that that box is now glowing, right? It's not glowing, glowing, because it's telling what it's being interacted with. Now the idea is you also then have to grab your cropnolia, crouch, and then click the mana spreader too. Because what's going to end up happening is you need the mana being sent up here, right? If you forget to do this, you're not going to get any mana. So be sure to remember to do that. And again, this is the early game like thing of doing it. I recommend really just making it endoflame. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's better for passive mana. And yeah, there is better stuff, but That's beyond me. But again, check out that guide down below. The first steps also, while this is also growing, I really recommend you going to like a plains biome with a bunch of oak trees and finding yourself some wise oak. You don't need many because there is the Tapper book that you can get right here. Canadian and Famous. I really recommend you guys getting this. If you don't have it, it will save you so much time as well as you make quite a bit of money with it. But how you can get yourself the wise oak is you're going to need Silk Touch. You can buy the Silk Touch from the librarian guy for that 8,200 gold. Go ahead and enchant any item, pickaxe, axe, whatever. And you may notice when you are trying like to hit them, it's not going to work, right? So you're going to want to break a hole underneath them. Again, make sure you're using Silk Touch because it is a guarantee that you should get yourself the wise oak. Try to find as many as you can. They are wonderful. Don't sell the product. It does have some good use out of them. You get 4 every 2 days, but with that Canadian, you'll get 8. And again, it is worth money, but they are worth so much more for botany because they give us mana, very good amount of mana that you don't need to do much work and it will save us a lot of time. That's what I'm saying. Like you can go for the Andoflame, but if you have the Wise Oaks, it's going to be so much better. Now we're going to need to make a tapper. It's a copper block, wooden bucket, 2 fire logs, and an earth crystal. And you'll just have to, place it down on the guy and just click it again. Like do that. And then you can see now it works and it takes 2 days. Alrighty. I forced the days out, but now you can see it's slowly harvesting the wheat and then it's putting it into itself, into here. And you can see it's starting to just shoot it inside here. And now we have blue. Now, honestly, this is as far as we need to go. If you have the tappers set up, just look at this, right? It's going to take so long for all this to fill this up because to make either of those animals, we're going to need a full pool. That's going to take a lot. But if you look at all these stuff, right? We got ourselves, 4 days worth of tappers, right? So 64 lotus. Check this out. Look how much it's going up. Like it's basically brought us half. So you'll just need 128 of those lotuses and then you can make yourself at least one of those things mana-wise at least, right? So save your black lotuses. Now that we have some mana, what we're going to need to make is a tribute and a mana pearl. How you make that is the tribute, you're going to need 8 iridium coins and a mana steel ingot. How you make that is we're going to need a bismuth ingot and just throw it in the mana pool. Now it does take away some mana, but all you got to do is just throw it in there and it pops back as mana steel. Same thing for the mana pearl. You just need to throw in a pearl and you get mana pearl. And you can see how much mana is required of it. So we're going to need make this runic altar. So you'll need that botanical tribute, that mana pearl, and 5 more living rocks. Now, why do we need this runic altar? Well, we're going to need to make this terrestrial agglomeration plate. So we're going to need 3 blocks of lapis, a block of that mana steel, and then we're going to need a rune of water, rune of earth, rune of mana, rune of air, and rune of fire. To make these runes, that's why we're going to need this runic altar. So to make the rune of water, we're going to need deluxe crab bait. How we make that is we can take normal crab trap bait, put it in a deluxe worm farm, and then within a day, it will turn into the deluxe crab bait. How you make the deluxe worm farm thing? You're going to need a worm farm. You're going to need a Neptunium ingot. You're going to need 4 blocks of zinc and 2 blocks of pearl blocks. Also 1 aquamarine. You're going to need any type of fish. You're going to need a mana steel ingot. You're going to need a mana powder. You can just grab any dye, any sugar, redstone, glowstone dust, whatever. It'll become mana powder. I'd recommend just getting sugar because you can just buy it. Same thing with redstone. You can just buy it and throw it in there. And then 1 Neptunium nugget. And again, you get those Neptunium nuggets from either getting to level 5 in the fishing for the Neptunia unlocked, or if you do have them, the crab trap bait, you'll have a small chance of getting the ingots. You also have the Neptunia fish in the fish pond to get some of that stuff. And it's as simple as you just grab everything that you need and then just go in here and then you just right click, right click, right click, right click, right click. And you can see you have to hook up a mana pool and another mana spreader. You could go ahead and just, remove that whenever it's done or just make another mana spreader. Going into here. Now you can see on the right side, it's having a green bar loading it up. When it's ready, you're going to need to use that living rock as a catalyst. So you just go ahead and right click it in there. And then you're going to have to use your wand. And whenever it's ready, just right click. Bam, it's completed. Now, if you needed more of these water runes for whatever reason, you can just hover over and you can see. Right click with an empty hand to add back the last recipe. So you can just right click. If you had this stuff in your inventory, right, it would automatically place it right away. For the rune of earth, we're going to need cheese wheel. You can use any of these cheese wheels, normal cheese wheel, sheep, grain, amethyst, buffalo, goat, or warp cheese wheel. None of them need to be aged. You're going to need 1 ancient fruit, 1 mana steel ingot, 1 mana powder, 1 fine wool. You can get fine wool from any of the sheeps at 4+ affection. And same thing, place your living rock in there, use your wand, right click, bam. Runes of earth. For the rune of mana, you're going to need 5 mana steel ingots and that 1 mana pearl. Same thing. Have it hooked up, put in that living rock, right click it, bam. Rune of mana. For the rune of air, you're going to need a bone block. You're going to need a soul bead. You can find these in the nether or soul fish, put it in there. But again, the easiest thing is in the nether, in the soul biome. You can find these wraith walking around. You can kill them. You'll have a chance of getting that. Or you can just mine a bunch of soul sand, set up the washing setup, and then you have a 5% chance of getting the soul bead that way. You're going to need a mana steel ingot, mana powder, and a breeze rod. Now, if you haven't found the trial chambers, you can go ahead and mine in the top layers of the skull cavern for those geodes. You should have plenty of these amethyst chunks. You then just need to make yourself a fletching table. You need 1 prismatic shard, 3 flint, and any planks. In here, you can scroll down, and right here, 8 breeze rods. But once again, you just do the same thing, grab everything in there. It would just slowly load once again. And then whenever it's ready, you just right click it, and then you'll have the rune of air. For the rune of fire, you're going to need 1 earth crystal, 1 fire quartz, 1 mana steel ingot, 1 mana powder, and 1 jade. For the jade, you can get it through a number of sources, from fishing, from the ripple plort using the phantom plorts, but most likely everybody's going to get it through mining geodes. You just need to go into at least the ice layer of the skull cavern, mine these things, and this will be your early game jade. And then you can use that free crystallarium and duplicate them every 5 days. And that will be how you get your rune of fire. Now the rune of gluttony. This is the one that you're going to need a lot of. 1 per animal for exact. And the only thing you're going to have to need constantly is mana diamonds. Because the beauty of it is runes used in, runic altar creations are not consumed. But the gluttony thing to make the animal will be consumed. So again, you'll just need the mana diamonds. So you'll just put in that rune of fire, and then rune of winter. We're going to make that here. What we need for that is you're needing a frosty fin. It can only be caught during wintertime. You're going to need cinnamon, which you'll need ginger crates to buy the cinnamon sapling. Rune of earth, which you already made. Rune of water, which you've already made. And then ginger. Now, when we're making the rune of winter, sadly, it does consume the rune of water and earth because we are making the another rune out of them. But making the gluttony rune, we will keep them. So we'll put the earth, the winter, put in 2 mana diamonds, and then when that's ready, we can, again, put that living rock in here with the wand, and then bam. Now, how we get mana diamonds? Well, mana diamonds is putting a heart of the diamond inside the mana pool to get that. Well, how do we get heart of diamonds? We get a 14.29% chance while mining Omni Geodes for a heart of the diamond. If you have a stoneling, you can go ahead and make it. Up to you. It's Helvite. All you got to do is just place him down, and hopefully you hit him faster than he vanishes, right? I don't really recommend this way. What I do recommend is sheeps or any sort of animal, and at least +5 affection. You're going to go down under your husbandry, and you want to unlock the Biomancer skill at least. Because what it says is right-clicking a farm animal with a knife exchanges the affection for heart of diamond. They need to trust you first, which is going to be at 5+ affection. So if we grab ourselves a flint knife, you can go ahead and see right now, this sheep right here, right, is 10 affection. So we can just tap him once. We got 1 heart, right? Let's take him out real quick. You can see. So we can just tap, 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 tap. And we got to 6. And you can see now he only trusts me 4 times, right? So from 10, you can get 6 heart of the diamonds. So that is a option. So get yourself some throwaway sheep or throwaway chickens or animals or whatever. And then we just take these and then just throw them in the mana pool, and then you can see them just becoming the Heart of the Diamonds. And this thing is now ready. So we go ahead and put that living rock, right click it, and you can see it saved our other 2 runes, but it consumed our mana diamonds. But we could just right click and it's ready again. That's what I mean by all you'll need is those 2 mana diamonds, as long as you don't, lose your Rune of Winter and Rune of Fire. Alrighty, stick with me guys, that was just the hard part. Now we're gonna go basically easy mode. So next up, I recommend making 2 sparks. Basically, it transfers the mana fast. So you're gonna need 2 petals, a gold nugget in the middle, and then 2 blaze powders. And then with all that done, then you're just gonna make that terrestrial agglomeration plate. Now, you will need to have living rocks and blocks of lapis in this formation. The living rock in the middle, just out on the outskirts, and then the lapis, like that. And then just place the agglomeration plate in the middle. Then grab your spark, crouch, and then just right click it so it kind of floats there. You won't be able to hit it, you can walk through it. You can knock it off by just crouching with the binding wand though, and you'll get it back. And then place the other one on top of your mana pool, like so. Now then, time to make the Galliraptor. What you're gonna need is a supreme mayonnaise, a large goose mayonnaise, a large duck mayonnaise, a large mayonnaise, that rune of gluttony, the flamingo mayonnaise, penguin mayonnaise, and large turkey mayonnaise. To make mayonnaise, we're gonna need the mayonnaise machine. We're gonna need 1 pine tar, 2 fire logs, composter in the middle, 2 blocks of copper, and a earth crystal. To get the supreme mayonnaise, it has a 5% chance as long as the egg mayonnaise thing has the enkephalin, whatever the heck that is. And that costs 8 nether jelly. You can buy it from the exotic trader right here. All you gotta do is just look at your mayonnaise and then just right click it. And it has it. Next up, we're gonna need a goose. You can just find them by the river. Or if you wanna make it, a soapstone, 4 gold coins, 3 bone blocks, and an egg in the middle. We're going to need at least 4 affection to get that large goose egg, and 1 day to become a, mayonnaise. We're going to need a duck. Same thing, 4 affection, 4 gold, everything the same except slate now. Or you can buy it from the shepherd guy all the way down, 512 for a duck, and that is the loom. We're going to need a chicken. You can buy it from the loom guy for 128. And again, large egg, 4 affection. We're going to need a flamingo. This guy's pretty rare. I think jungle or bamboo normally, and 4 affection for that flamingo egg. Or if you don't want to find it, you can use a supreme mayonnaise. Then 4 iridium coins, those 3 bone blocks and an egg in the middle. Make it. You're going to need a penguin. You can find this guy in the icy areas. I can't remember which one. It's like the Arctic, watery area. And you need only 2 affection to get the penguin egg. Or if you want to make it, 4 iridium coins, 3 bone blocks, 1 egg, and then a snowflake pendant. How you make that snowflake pendant is you're going to need a rune of winter, rune of water, 1 mana steel ingot, and then 4 mana infused string. How do you make that? Is 2 fine wools in there to make that. For the turkey, you can probably find them in the maple forest. Other than that, I have no idea. It's just 4 iridium coins and a jasper if you have that to make it also. And again, 4 affection to make that mayonnaise. And then once you have all those things completed, so then we're just going to grab our supreme mayonnaise, our large goose, large duck, large mayonnaise, that rune of gluttony, flamingo, penguin, and large turkey. Come over here, and then we're just going to click. And just right click every single one of them on there. And then if you have enough mana in this pool, remember just throw in like your black lotuses, whatnot. It's just going to slowly gather the mana, and then in a few seconds, I guess a little bit more than a few seconds. Oh, it's coming. And there we go. Got ourselves a Galliraptor spawn crate. And then you can just place it wherever you want. You can get yourself a seat like so. Place it down and then just crouch, bam. And now he's sitting. Give him some fancy name. But that is how we make the Galliraptor. Now the Galliraptor, in my opinion, is better than the tribal. We'll go over that here later. But that is how we make the Galliraptor. Now then, how we make the tribal. We're going to need aged of every single cheese. So aged sheep cheese, warp cheese, goat cheese, cheese, rune of gluttony, buffalo cheese, amethyst cheese, and grain cheese. How we make cheese is a couple ways. If you're further down the line and you have some minty plores available to you, you can go ahead and make yourself some pink matter and buy them from the enchanter guy right here. It's just one pine tar, one earth crystal, and then 5 fire logs around. And what that pink matter does is it will automatically age them after 2 days. But if you don't have that, you're going to have to make yourself an aging casket. It costs 1 jade, 3 pine tar, fermentation barrel, and then 2 blocks of lead, which is found in the skull cavern in the icy layer level 2. To make that fermentation barrel, you'll need oak resin, 4 fire logs, fire quartz, 2 blocks of iron, and a barrel. And how it works is typically you put milk in here. So we can take large sheep milk, place it in there, and then you can see it takes 2 days. After 2 days, you're going to get cheese wheel. Now the reason why I got 2 is because under farming, I have rancher. Now I strongly recommend you guys getting rancher because down here you can make way more money with the Galliraptors. Because look at this, you can get double cheese, double mayo, and that is very important because later down the line, what we're gonna want to get is the 80% artisan typhoon, but we'll go over that here in a second. But that just gave us sheep thing. If you have that pink matter, you can just right click it into this, and now you can see it's a purple cheese. You put in that sheep milk in there one more time, and again, 2 more days, and here we go. We got 2 aged cheeses in 2 days. If you are further down and you want to make the cheese faster every 2 minutes, you can make yourself an auto cheese press, which is 1 iridium ingot, 2 pine tars, 1 artisan cheese press, and a battery. And how it works is you're just going to need milk and rennet. How you make rennet is you're going to need a cooking pot, any egg, salt, and you'll get 2 rennets. And then you just basically put large milk, rennet, and there you go. 1 minute and 30 seconds to make a cheese. Now, to get the sheep, specifically for large milk, you will need 6 affection, but the amount of days it will take to get that, you can actually just turn a small milk into a large one. It just takes 4 of them. So it depends on how fast you're trying to, I guess, speed run the tribals. I think you're still going to get the 6 affection before you even attempt this. But you can buy the sheep from the loom guy for 512 gold right here. Or if you have it, the malachite and 4 brass, 3 bone blocks, and the egg in the middle. For the woolly cow, you can find them in the nether. You're going to need esperites, 4 gold coins, 3 bone blocks, and an egg to make the spawn egg. You can have a chance of, making the egg where it has a chance of making that woolly cow. Again, 33% chance is just luck of the draw, really. Any of the other cows just gives you normal milk. So it has to be the warped looking cow, this guy, blue and red. Or green, red, turquoise, I don't know. The goat. You can buy it for 16,484 from the loom guy right here. Or the Bixbite, 4 gold coins, and that bone blocks and the egg. Again, you'll need 6 affection to get that large goat milk. For the cow, you can buy it again for the loom guy for 512. Or the calcite gem, 4 brass coins, 3 bone blocks, and an egg. Water buffalo, you could craft them with the neptunite, the 4 gold, bone blocks, and the egg, but there's so many of them by rivers, it's just don't even bother making it. And the moo blooms, you cannot make the moo blooms. Moo blooms are found in the sunflower plains. They'll make large amethyst milk, and once again, you can make 4 smalls into the large, and then you're gonna need some wheat milk. You're gonna need to make that cooking pot, which is just 2 bricks, 5 iron, and an earth crystal. You will need to make a campfire underneath, which is 3 sticks, 3 logs, and a coal, and just literally just right underneath so it works. And then you'll just stick wheat. You're gonna need 3 wheats, like so. And after like 10 seconds or so, it just makes the large grain milk. And then the same thing, just grab yourself all the cheeses and that gluttony shard. Come to your amalgamation plate or whatever you call it. Place all your cheeses. And then you can see it's attempting to make it, but the problem is we don't have any mana. So we're going to have to dump in mana. Now the problem now, what just happened is it kind of yoinked it, right? But the Black Lotus only works if there is any mana already inside this. Now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab myself a mana tablet, and me throwing it in there should assist the whole process. But again, hopefully you leave some blue in here and you top this up before, you activated that. But after some time, this is going to finish. And there we go, the tribal spawn crate. And then just same thing. You can go ahead and just place some, be in free range, or just place some, like however. Now that we have both of them done, I'm going to go over the pros and the cons. Pros. The money for the Galliraptor versus the tribal is way better with the Galliraptor, mainly because for the tribal, right? Yes, you can milk them, you can shear them, you can get the raw shank, right? Because for the shank, it's worth 1800 gold. You can get this every day as long as the affection is 5 or higher. Use case for it literally is just you cook it and you get 2700 out of it. You can milk them, get yourself a diamond quality milk. It will be worth 1500 gold. If you turn that into diamond cheese, that's going to be worth 4,600 gold. Now, if you age it, 2 days, right? Worth 7,000 gold. Now, here's where the problem lies, is the ancient casket. I don't really like this thing because A, it takes 13 days. And yes, there are ways you can speed this up, but for way down the line, I don't think it's worth it. All to just increase from 7,000 to 20,736. What I would rather you do, and I'm going to do this also, is the artisan products. So don't do this one, do the artisans. It's worth 80% more. I'll go over it here. Every day you can shear the thing as long as 5 affection. You're going to get the body worth 900 gold. You can cook it up worth 3,500. Where it makes it really well, at 10 affection, you're going to get 2 large Galliraptor eggs a day, but we're just going to use one for math's sakes, right? It's worth 2,000 gold. You stick in 1 day in the Manny's machine, it's worth 16,384. You have that 80%. Now it's worth 29,491. If you have that one rancher thing, it's worth 58,982 because you're going to get 2 mayonnaise out of 1 egg. And then if you make another, mayonnaise machine, right? Double this up. You're going to get almost 120,000 a day from the Galliraptor. But yeah, this is the reason why these guys are better. 120,000 gold per day versus this guy being, not even close. Like 13 days plus 15 for 20,000. And then they're both considered artisan product, right? But the thing is, for the double age thing, are you really going to regress just to go down here after you have a bunch of milk? Like, that's the part that doesn't really make sense to me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to explain this very, very in detail, so nobody should have a problem figuring out how to make either the Galliraptor or the tribal. And remember, you can't breed them, so you're going to keep making more and more of them. That is it. Do hit the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments if I missed anything. I do appreciate all you guys' comments down there. It lets me learn a little bit of things and, make videos out of them. But with that, I am done. I'm going to bed. So good night. God bless. And good night.